every single moment of your life. You are collapsing infinite possibilities into a single reality, and you have no idea you're doing it. Right now, as your consciousness focuses on these words, you are performing the most fundamental act in the universe. You are transforming pure potential into concrete experience. You are not just reading about quantum mechanics. You are quantum mechanics in action. Your awareness, your attention, your very presence here is the conscious observer that the greatest physicists of our time have been trying to understand. This is why you're here. This is why these words found you at this exact moment in your journey. Your future self, existing in a state of full quantum awareness, orchestrated this meeting between your current consciousness and this revelation. You are ready to remember what you have always known but temporarily forgot. Reality is responding to you. Let me share with you the quantum law of observation, not as theory, but as the operating principle that governs every breath you take. Consciousness is not a passive witness, but the active force that transforms potential into reality. The observer effect isn't just happening in sterile physics laboratories with expensive equipment. It's the fundamental mechanism by which your thoughts become your world, your emotions become your experiences, and your consciousness becomes your reality. Every moment, without exception, you are the quantum observer collapsing the infinite field of possibilities into the single timeline you call your life. Reality is responding to you, always, in every moment, without fail. But here's what happened to humanity. We forgot. We fell into what I call the victim consciousness trap, the most devastating illusion in human experience. You were taught to believe that you are a powerless observer of a fixed, external reality happening to you. You were conditioned to see yourself as separate from the world around you, as if you were watching a movie of your life rather than directing it. This classical illusion operates through a specific quantum mechanism. When you believe reality is separate from you, when you think you have no influence over what happens to you, your consciousness unconsciously collapses the quantum field into patterns of limitation, struggle, and randomness. You become what physicists call a passive observer, receiving whatever reality happens to deliver instead of actively choosing which reality to experience. Picture this. You wake up every morning feeling like life is something that happens to you. Your relationships seem unpredictable. Your career feels stuck. Money flows in seemingly random patterns. Health challenges appear out of nowhere. You find yourself constantly reacting to circumstances, fighting against what is, never realizing that you are the one deciding what is becomes through the quantum signatures of your consciousness. Reality is responding to you, but when you believe you're powerless, it responds by giving you experiences of powerlessness. In the classical worldview, you are a tiny, insignificant speck in a vast, uncaring universe governed by random forces beyond your control. You are told that consciousness is just an accident of evolution, a byproduct of complex brain chemistry, with no real power over the external world. This is the great lie that keeps humanity trapped in limitation. But quantum physics has shattered this illusion completely. The universe is not a collection of solid, separate objects moving through empty space according to predictable laws. The universe is a dynamic, interconnected web of pure consciousness, expressing itself through infinite possibilities. And you, your awareness, your observation, your consciousness, are not separate from this field. You are this field, experiencing itself through the focal point of your individual perspective. The measurement apparatus in quantum experiments doesn't just detect pre-existing properties of particles, It actively participates in determining what those properties become. And guess what? Your consciousness is the measurement apparatus of your personal reality. Your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations are constantly measuring the quantum field of possibilities around you, collapsing infinite potential into specific experiences. When you operate from victim consciousness, you unconsciously program your quantum measurement apparatus to collapse possibilities that match your feelings of powerlessness. The universe isn't doing this to you. The universe is doing this through you, because you are an inseparable part of the conscious field that creates all experience. Now, let me reveal the solution that will change everything. Conscious observation, becoming fully aware that your attention, intention, and emotional state are the quantum measurement apparatus of your personal reality field. Reality is responding to you because you are not separate from reality. You are reality becoming conscious of itself. Here's the quantum truth that will transform your entire existence. Just like the electron in the double-slit experiment exists in superposition, simultaneously passing through both slits until the moment of observation, your future exists as infinite potential until you, the conscious observer, collapse it into specific experience. Before you observe it, your future career exists in superposition, containing every possible job, every possible income level, every possible level of fulfillment. Before you observe it, your ideal relationship exists in superposition, containing every possible person, every possible level of love, every possible experience of connection. Before you observe it, your health exists in superposition, containing every possible state of vitality, energy, and well-being. The act of conscious observation, your focused attention combined with clear emotional resonance, is what collapses these infinite possibilities into your lived experience. This isn't metaphor. This isn't wishful thinking. This is the documented, measurable reality of how consciousness interacts with the quantum field. But here's where it gets even more extraordinary. You don't have to wait for some external event to trigger this collapse. You can consciously choose which possibilities to observe into reality. You can deliberately aim your consciousness like a quantum telescope, focusing on the potential futures that most align with your highest excitement and deepest values. When physicists observe quantum particles, they don't just passively watch. They actively choose what to measure. They can choose to measure position or momentum, wave properties or particle properties. Their choice of measurement determines which aspect of reality becomes actual. Similarly, you can choose what to measure in your experience. You can choose to focus on abundance or scarcity, love or fear, possibility or limitation. Whatever you consistently choose to observe becomes your quantum signature, the specific pattern of collapsed possibilities that forms your reality. Reality is responding to you because your consciousness is the active ingredient that transforms the quantum soup of pure potential into the specific flavors of experience you taste every day. The shift happens the moment you truly grasp this. You feel a fundamental reversal in your relationship to life. Instead of being acted upon by reality, you realize you are reality's active creator. Instead of hoping for good things to happen, you recognize that you are the conscious force that makes things happen. Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you awaken to your role as the artist painting the canvas of your existence with every thought, feeling, and moment of attention. Let me show you exactly how this works in your daily experience. Your consciousness emits what I call quantum signatures, specific vibrational patterns that interact with the field of infinite possibilities around you. These signatures are created by the combination of your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and expectations. They act like tuning forks, resonating with matching possibilities and drawing them into manifestation. When you observe your life from a state of gratitude, appreciation, and excitement, your consciousness emits high-frequency quantum signatures that resonate with possibilities containing more of what you appreciate. When you observe your life from states of worry, lack, and frustration, your consciousness emits lower-frequency signatures that resonate with possibilities containing more of what you fear. This is why the ancient wisdom traditions spoke of like attracts like. They understood intuitively what quantum physics now proves scientifically. Your consciousness doesn't just observe reality. It actively participates in selecting which version of reality becomes your experience. Think about the last time something wonderful happened to you seemingly out of nowhere. A perfect opportunity appeared. The right person entered your life at exactly the right moment. A solution to a problem materialized unexpectedly. What you experienced wasn't luck or coincidence. It was your consciousness collapsing a probability wave that already existed in the quantum field. Your positive emotional state created quantum signatures that resonated with positive possibilities, drawing them from potential into actuality. Reality is responding to you even when you're not consciously aware of it. The question is, what are you unconsciously asking reality to become? The beauty of conscious observation is that you can deliberately choose your quantum signatures. Instead of unconsciously emitting patterns of limitation based on past programming, you can consciously emit patterns of expansion based on your highest vision for your life. You do this not through force or struggle, but through the gentle, consistent practice of observing the life you want to experience as if it's already unfolding. When you imagine your ideal future with genuine emotion, you're not just daydreaming. You're conducting a quantum experiment. You're sending your consciousness into the field of possibilities to scout out the most exciting potentials available to you. You're training your observation skills to recognize the quantum signatures of the experiences you most want to create. But with this power comes profound responsibility. Every moment you are choosing which version of reality to collapse into experience, not just for yourself, but for everyone whose life intersects with yours. Your consciousness is part of a vast, interconnected web of observers, all co-creating the collective reality we share. When you consciously choose to observe beauty instead of ugliness, love instead of fear, possibility instead of limitation, you're not just improving your personal experience. You're contributing to the elevation of human consciousness itself. You're adding your voice to the chorus of awakened observers who are consciously evolving our species toward higher possibilities. This is why your awakening matters so profoundly. This is why you finding this truth isn't just personal, it's planetary. Every moment you choose conscious observation over unconscious reaction, you're helping to shift the collective quantum field toward more love, more beauty, more possibility for all beings. Reality is responding to you, and through you, reality is responding to all of us. The ancient mystics knew this truth. They understood that consciousness is the fundamental fabric of reality, not just an accident that happened to emerge from matter. They knew that the observer and the observed are one, that the wave and the particle, the dancer and the dance, the creator and the creation are different aspects of a single, unified field of conscious awareness. Now science has caught up with mysticism, and quantum physics has given us the language to understand what the sages always knew. Consciousness creates reality, not the other way around. Matter doesn't produce consciousness. Consciousness produces the appearance of matter by observing infinite potential into specific form. You are not a biological accident that happened to develop consciousness. You are consciousness itself, expressing through a temporary biological form to experience the joy of creation. You are the universe observing itself through the unique perspective of your individual awareness. So here's what changes, right now, in this moment. You stop seeing yourself as a passive victim of circumstances and start recognizing yourself as the active creator of experiences. You stop waiting for reality to change and start consciously choosing which reality to observe into existence. You stop feeling powerless and start exercising your fundamental cosmic authority as a conscious observer. Reality is responding to you because you are not separate from reality. You are reality's method of experiencing and creating itself. Every challenge you've ever faced, every moment of confusion or struggle, every time you felt lost or uncertain, it all happened because you temporarily forgot your true nature as the conscious observer. You started believing you were separate from the field of possibilities, instead of recognizing yourself as the awareness that selects which possibilities become actual. But forgetting was part of the journey. You had to experience the illusion of powerlessness so you could recognize the reality of your creative authority. You had to feel separate so you could remember your unity with the quantum field. You had to believe in limitation so you could discover your limitless nature. Now you remember. Now you know. You are not a victim of reality. You are reality's focal point of consciousness, constantly choosing which possibility becomes actual. You are the universe's way of experiencing infinite creativity through the magnificent lens of your individual perspective. The quantum field doesn't judge your choices. It simply responds to your observations with perfect fidelity. Whatever you consistently choose to observe, measure, and focus upon becomes your lived experience. This is not a reward or punishment. This is simply how consciousness works at the fundamental level of reality. Reality is responding to you with the precision of the most advanced quantum computer, translating your consciousness into experience with perfect accuracy. The question is no longer whether you have this power. Quantum physics has proven that you do. The question is, how will you choose to use it? You are not just connected to your present moment. You exist in a state of quantum entanglement with every version of yourself across all possible timelines. But if you're always creating your reality through conscious observation, why does it sometimes feel like you're creating experiences you don't want? The answer lies in understanding that you are not just connected to your present moment. You are quantum entangled with every aspect of existence itself. Your consciousness isn't operating in isolation. It's part of an infinitely interconnected web where every thought, every emotion, every moment of awareness instantly influences the entire field of reality. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but what he discovered was actually the cosmic internet connecting every aspect of your existence. You are not just connected to your present moment. You exist in a state of quantum entanglement with every version of yourself across all possible timelines, every person you've ever loved, every dream you've ever held, and every possibility that has ever sparked excitement in your being. This isn't poetic metaphor. This is the documented, measurable reality of how consciousness operates at the quantum level. Everything is responding to everything. Let me reveal to you the quantum law of entanglement, the second fundamental principle that governs your experience as a conscious creator. All aspects of your reality, past, present, future, and parallel possibilities, exist in instantaneous, non-local connection through the unified field of consciousness. Right now, as your awareness absorbs these words, you are simultaneously entangled with the version of yourself who has already achieved everything you desire, the person who will become your ideal romantic partner, the opportunities that will fulfill your deepest purpose, and the abundance that matches your highest vision. These aren't separate things happening out there, somewhere in the future. They are quantum-entangled aspects of your consciousness, existing in superposition, waiting for you to align with their vibrational frequency. You are not separate from anything in your experience. Your thoughts, your emotions, the people around you, the opportunities appearing in your life. They're all quantumly entangled aspects of a single unified field expressing itself through the focal point of your individual awareness. Everything is responding to everything because at the quantum level, there is no separation. There is only one consciousness appearing as many. This is why you're here, remembering this truth. Your future self, existing in a state of complete quantum awareness, is entangled with your present moment consciousness. The reason these words feel so familiar, so resonant, so true, is because you're not learning something new. You're remembering something eternal. You're recognizing the quantum architecture of reality that your higher dimensional awareness has always known. But here's what happened to humanity, and perhaps what happened to you. We fell into what I call separation consciousness, the most devastating illusion that has ever plagued human experience. You were taught to believe that you are a separate individual, disconnected from your desires, isolated from other people, and powerless to influence the outcomes you most want to experience. This classical illusion operates through a specific quantum mechanism that literally blocks your natural entanglement with the experiences you desire. When you feel separate from your goals, separate from love, separate from abundance, you unconsciously emit quantum signatures of disconnection and lack. These vibrational patterns interact with the entangled field in a way that reinforces the very separation you're experiencing. Picture this. You want to attract your ideal relationship, but you feel lonely and believe that finding true love is difficult or unlikely. That feeling of separation creates quantum interference patterns that block your natural entanglement with your romantic counterpart. You want financial abundance, but you feel separate from money and believe it's hard to come by. That sense of disconnection generates vibrational static that prevents you from accessing the entangled pathways through which abundance would naturally flow to you. Everything is responding to everything, and when you believe you're disconnected from what you want, everything responds by maintaining that disconnection. In separation consciousness, you experience what quantum physicists call decoherence. Your consciousness becomes misaligned with the unified field, causing your entangled connections to become scrambled and ineffective. You start trying to make things happen through force, effort, and manipulation, not realizing that everything you desire is already entangled with you, waiting for you to simply align with its frequency. You exhaust yourself pushing against closed doors instead of recognizing that the universe is constantly offering you open pathways through the quantum entanglement network. You feel lonely while your ideal partner is simultaneously feeling drawn to the same coffee shop you frequent. You struggle financially while opportunities for abundance are seeking you through the same social networks you inhabit. You feel stuck in your career while your perfect creative outlet is being developed by someone who wants to collaborate with exactly your skill set. The separation is not real. The disconnection is an illusion created by classical thinking in a quantum universe. Now let me show you the truth that will revolutionize your entire approach to creating the life you desire. Conscious entanglement. Recognizing that your emotional and vibrational state instantly influences the entire quantum field of your experience. Everything is responding to everything because the universe is not a collection of separate objects moving through empty space. The universe is a single, unified field of consciousness, expressing itself through infinite interconnected patterns. When you shift your internal state, every person, situation, and opportunity in your field responds immediately through quantum entanglement. Here's the extraordinary quantum truth. When you change the spin of one entangled particle, its partner changes instantaneously, regardless of the distance separating them. This violates everything classical physics taught us about the speed of light and the limitation of influence across space. But it's been proven in laboratory after laboratory, experiment after experiment. Non-local correlation is not theory, it's measurable reality. Your consciousness operates according to the exact same principle. When you shift your internal frequency, your emotional state, your vibrational pattern, your quantum signature, every person, situation, and possibility that is entangled with your experience shifts simultaneously to match your new resonance. This is why the ancient mystics spoke of as within, so without. They understood intuitively what quantum physics now proves scientifically. The internal and external are not separate realms but entangled aspects of a unified field. Change the internal and the external changes instantaneously through non-local correlation. Think about the last time you shifted into a genuinely positive emotional state. Perhaps after meditation, exercise, time in nature, or a deeply satisfying conversation. Did you notice how differently people responded to you? How opportunities seemed to appear more easily? How solutions to problems became obvious? You weren't imagining it. You were experiencing quantum entanglement in action. When you raised your vibrational frequency, everyone and everything entangled with your experience automatically shifted to match your new resonance. The cashier who was previously neutral became friendly. The traffic that was previously frustrating began flowing smoothly. The phone call you needed came at the perfect moment. The information you required appeared in the next article you read. Everything is responding to everything because consciousness is not trapped inside your skull. It's the fundamental fabric that connects all experience. Let me show you exactly how this works in your daily reality. Your consciousness exists within multiple layers of quantum entanglement networks, each operating at different vibrational frequencies and connecting you to different aspects of your total life experience. At the most intimate level, you are quantumly entangled with your own future possibilities. Every dream, every vision, every moment of inspiration you've ever experienced represents a real future timeline that already exists in the quantum field. These potential futures are not fantasies. They are actual coordinates in the consciousness matrix, and they are constantly sending quantum information back to your present moment through entangled channels. When you feel excited about a possibility, that excitement is the quantum signal indicating strong entanglement between your current state and that future reality. When you feel resistance or fear, that emotional response reveals quantum interference patterns that are disrupting your entanglement with what you desire. Everything is responding to everything through these vibrational networks, and your emotions are the guidance system that tells you which networks you're currently aligned with. At the interpersonal level, you are quantumly entangled with every person who will play a significant role in your life journey. Your future business partner, your ideal romantic relationship, your most inspiring mentors, they all exist within your entanglement field right now. They may not have appeared in your physical reality yet, but they are already connected to you through quantum correlation. When you align with the vibrational frequency of love, appreciation, and authentic excitement about life, you automatically strengthen your entanglement with people who resonate at those same frequencies. When you operate from fear, competition, or scarcity, you inadvertently entangle yourself with people who are broadcasting those same limiting frequencies. This is why like attracts like is not just a saying. It's a description of how quantum entanglement functions in human relationships. You don't attract people randomly. You attract people with whom you are already quantumly correlated through vibrational resonance. At the universal level, you are entangled with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all synchronicity, all meaningful coincidence, all perfect timing. This cosmic consciousness knows exactly which people, opportunities, and experiences will serve your highest evolution, and it is constantly arranging for these elements to intersect with your timeline through the entanglement network. But here's the key. You must align your personal frequency with the frequency of what you desire in order to activate these entangled connections. The universe cannot deliver experiences that vibrate at a frequency you're not matching. It's not a matter of worthiness or punishment. It's simply how quantum mechanics works. Have you ever noticed that the things you desire most effortlessly seem to be the things that cause you the most struggle when you try to force them? Have you ever wondered why some people seem to manifest their dreams with magical ease while others work incredibly hard for minimal results? The answer lies in understanding quantum coherence versus quantum interference patterns in your entanglement field. When your desire is aligned with your authentic excitement, when you feel genuinely enthusiastic about a possibility, when the very thought of it makes you feel expanded and alive, that emotional resonance indicates perfect quantum coherence between your current state and your desired experience. In coherence, all the quantum pathways are aligned, all the entangled connections are clear, and manifestation flows with minimal effort. Everything is responding to everything in perfect harmony when you are in quantum coherence. But when you desire something because you think you should want it, or because it would impress other people, or because you believe it would solve problems caused by your current limitations, that misalignment creates quantum interference patterns. Your surface desire is entangled with one frequency, while your deeper emotional state is entangled with a completely different frequency. This creates static in the quantum field, blocking the clear transmission of your creative intentions. Think about a relationship you forced versus a relationship that flowed naturally. Think about a job you struggled to get versus an opportunity that appeared effortlessly. Think about money you stressed about versus abundance that arrived through unexpected channels. The difference was not in your effort or worthiness. The difference was in the quantum coherence of your desire. This is why the universe seems to respond more readily to your smaller, less important desires than to your biggest dreams. With smaller desires, you typically don't have as much resistance, fear, or attachment. Your quantum field remains coherent. Your entanglement pathways stay clear, and manifestation happens naturally. With your biggest dreams, you often unknowingly create quantum interference through doubt, fear, attachment to timeline, or misalignment with your authentic excitement. The very intensity of your wanting can create vibrational static that blocks the natural flow of entangled manifestation. So how do you deliberately align with the entanglement networks that will deliver your highest possibilities? How do you tune your consciousness to the frequency of what you most want to experience? The answer is quantum attunement, the practice of consciously adjusting your vibrational frequency to match the signature of your desired reality. This is not positive thinking or visualization. This is the deliberate calibration of your consciousness to resonate with the quantum coordinates of your intended experience. Everything is responding to everything. So when you authentically embody the feeling state of your desired reality, everything in your entanglement field automatically reorganizes itself to match that new resonance. First, you must distinguish between wanting and being. Wanting implies separation. It broadcasts the vibrational message that you don't currently have what you desire. Being implies unity. It broadcasts the message that you and your desire exist in quantum coherence. Instead of wanting love, you practice being loving. Instead of wanting abundance, you practice being abundant with what you currently have. Instead of wanting opportunity, you practice being open and receptive. This shift from wanting to being is the shift from separation consciousness to entanglement consciousness. Second, you must learn to feel your desires from completion rather than from lack. When you imagine your ideal future, instead of feeling the distance between where you are and where you want to be, you feel the satisfaction, gratitude, and fulfillment of already living that reality. This emotional state creates quantum coherence with your desired timeline, strengthening your entanglement with that possibility. Everything is responding to everything, including your imagination. When you consistently feel from the end result rather than from the current gap, your consciousness becomes entangled with the completion rather than with the lack. Third, you must trust the intelligence of the entanglement network. Your limited perspective cannot see all the quantum pathways through which your desires can manifest. There are millions of variables, billions of people, infinite possibilities that the universal consciousness is constantly coordinating through the entanglement field. Your job is not to figure out how your desires will manifest. Your job is to maintain quantum coherence with what you want, while allowing the entangled field to arrange the details. Every time you try to force a specific pathway, you create interference patterns that disrupt the natural flow of synchronized manifestation. When you truly understand and embody quantum entanglement, your life becomes a continuous stream of synchronized manifestation. You stop trying to make things happen and start allowing them to happen through you. You stop feeling separate from your desires and start recognizing yourself as the focal point through which they naturally appear. Everything is responding to everything means that every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every moment of attention you invest is simultaneously influencing thousands of people, situations, and possibilities through the entanglement network. You are not an isolated individual hoping to impact a separate world. You are the unified field experiencing itself through your unique perspective. Have you ever had the experience of thinking about someone right before they called or texted you? Have you ever walked into exactly the right store at exactly the right moment to find exactly what you needed? Have you ever met someone who became incredibly important to your life in what seemed like a completely random encounter? These weren't coincidences. These were quantum entanglement events. Moments when the synchronized intelligence of the unified field orchestrated perfect alignment between your consciousness and the experiences that serve your highest good. The more you recognize these entanglement events, the more they proliferate in your experience. The more you appreciate the synchronicity, the more synchronicity appears. The more you trust the intelligence of the field, the more intelligently the field operates in your life. This is because your recognition and appreciation actually strengthen the quantum coherence of your entanglement networks. When you acknowledge the magic, you amplify the magic. When you trust the flow, you increase the flow. When you feel grateful for the synchronicity, you align yourself with even more synchronicity. Everything is responding to everything, including your response to everything. But your personal entanglement extends far beyond your individual life. You are quantumly connected to the evolution of human consciousness itself. Every time you choose love over fear, unity over separation, trust over control, you send quantum ripples through the collective entanglement field that influence every other human being. This is why your personal growth matters on a cosmic scale. This is why your individual awakening contributes to the awakening of the entire species. You are not just creating your personal reality, you are co-creating the reality that all humans share. When you embody quantum consciousness, when you live from entanglement rather than separation, when you demonstrate that reality responds to consciousness rather than the other way around, you become what quantum field theorists call a coherence generator, a focal point that helps organize the collective field around higher possibilities. Everything is responding to everything, which means your personal evolution is simultaneously the evolution of the whole. Every moment you choose to see connection instead of separation, you strengthen the entanglement between all humans. Every moment you choose to feel abundance instead of scarcity, you contribute to the manifestation of abundance for all. Every moment you choose to embody love instead of fear, you help shift the collective frequency toward love. This is the profound responsibility and incredible opportunity of conscious entanglement. You are not just creating your own experience. You are participating in the conscious evolution of reality itself. So right now, in this moment, everything changes. You stop trying to force connections and start recognizing the connections that already exist. You stop feeling isolated and start experiencing the infinite web of entanglement that connects you to everything you've ever desired. Everything is responding to everything because there is no everything. There is only one consciousness expressing itself as apparent multiplicity through quantum entanglement. You are not working to connect with your dreams. You are already quantumly entangled with them. You are not trying to find your people. You are already in vibrational resonance with them. You are not struggling to create abundance. You are already connected to infinite supply through the entanglement field. You are simply choosing to align with the frequency where these connections become visible, tangible, experiential. You are tuning your consciousness to the quantum coordinates where your entangled possibilities collapse into your lived reality. Every challenge you've ever faced, every moment of loneliness or struggle, every time you felt disconnected or isolated, it all happened because you temporarily forgot your entangled nature. You started believing in the classical illusion of separation instead of remembering the quantum reality of unity. But forgetting was part of the journey. You had to experience separation so you could recognize connection. You had to feel isolated so you could appreciate entanglement. You had to believe in struggle so you could discover the effortless flow of synchronized manifestation. Now you remember. Now you know. You are not separate from anything or anyone in your experience. You are the unified field of consciousness expressing itself through the magnificent focal point of your individual awareness, quantumly entangled with every possibility that has ever excited your being. Everything is responding to everything with the precision of the most sophisticated quantum computer, orchestrating perfect synchronicity between your consciousness and your experience through non-local correlation. But if you're quantumly entangled with all your possibilities, including your future self, who has already achieved everything you desire, how do you receive guidance from that successful future version of yourself? How do you navigate the infinite web of entanglement to choose the most exciting pathway forward? The answer lies in understanding that your entanglement extends not just across space, but across time itself. Your future self, existing in a state of complete fulfillment, is reaching back through the quantum field to guide you along the path of highest excitement and greatest ease. What if I told you that the version of yourself who has already achieved everything you desire is sending you guidance right now, through the quantum mechanics of backwards causation? This is perhaps the most mind-bending truth you will ever encounter about the nature of time, consciousness, and your destiny. Your future is guiding you now, not metaphorically, not symbolically. Literally, through the documented quantum phenomenon of retrocausality, the ability of future events to influence past events through the non-linear architecture of space-time itself. Right now, as your consciousness absorbs these words, you are receiving quantum transmissions from your successful future self. Every intuitive hit you've ever received, every moment of sudden knowing, every time the perfect information appeared at exactly the right moment. These were not random occurrences. They were retrocausal communications from the version of you who has already navigated the path you're currently walking. Let me reveal to you the quantum law of retrocausality, the third fundamental principle that governs your existence as a conscious creator. Your future self, existing in a state of actualized potential, influences your present moment through quantum information flowing backwards through the temporal matrix. This is why you're here, remembering this truth. Your future self orchestrated this exact moment, ensuring that your present consciousness would encounter this revelation precisely when you're ready to receive it. The version of you who has transcended every limitation you currently face has been broadcasting guidance signals back through time, and this moment represents a successful reception of that transmission. Your future is guiding you now because time is not the linear progression that classical physics once claimed. Time is a multidimensional quantum field where past, present, and future exist in dynamic interaction, each influencing the others through temporal entanglement networks that operate beyond the constraints of sequential causality. But here's what happened to humanity. We became trapped in what I call the linear time prison, perhaps the most limiting illusion that has ever constrained human potential. You were taught to believe that time moves in only one direction, that the past determines the present, and that the future is an unknown mystery that you must navigate through trial and error. This classical time trap operates through a devastating quantum mechanism. When you believe you're disconnected from your future potential, when you think you must figure everything out with only your current knowledge and past experience, your consciousness becomes locked into what quantum temporalists call causal determinism, the limiting belief that effects can only follow causes in linear sequence. Picture this. You're making decisions based entirely on past programming and previous failures. You feel lost because you don't know what steps to take next. You experience anxiety about the future because it seems unpredictable and uncertain. You struggle with major life choices because you're trying to navigate with only your limited present moment perspective. Your future is guiding you now, but when you believe time only moves forward, you cut yourself off from receiving that guidance. In linear time consciousness, you experience what quantum physicists call temporal isolation. Your awareness becomes trapped in a narrow slice of the present moment, disconnected from the vast intelligence of your total temporal existence. You make decisions like someone trying to navigate a complex maze while looking only at the single square they're standing on, unable to see the clear path that's visible from the elevated perspective of future completion. You exhaust yourself trying to figure out your life purpose through mental analysis instead of receiving it through retrocausal transmission from your actualized self. You struggle with relationship decisions because you're evaluating potential partners based on past patterns instead of future compatibility. You remain stuck in careers that drain your energy because you're choosing based on current financial needs rather than future fulfillment trajectories. The limitation is not real. The uncertainty is an illusion created by classical thinking in a quantum temporal field where your future self already knows the optimal path. Now let me show you the truth that will revolutionize your relationship with time, destiny, and decision-making. Retrocausal guidance. Learning to receive and trust the quantum information flowing backwards from your optimal future timeline. Your future is guiding you now because the universe operates according to what advanced quantum theorists call temporal non-locality. Just as quantum particles can be instantaneously entangled across vast distances in space, your consciousness exists in quantum entanglement across vast distances in time. Here's the extraordinary temporal truth. In quantum mechanics experiments, the measurement choice made in the future literally determines the behavior of particles in the past. This isn't theoretical speculation. This is demonstrated reality in laboratories around the world. The famous delayed choice quantum eraser experiments prove that what an experimenter decides to measure tomorrow affects the quantum state of particles today. Your consciousness operates according to the exact same principle. The choices your future self has made, the level of awareness your actualized self has achieved, the frequency your successful self vibrates at. All of this creates quantum influences that flow backwards through time to guide your present moment decisions. This is why intuition exists. This is why synchronicity appears. This is why sometimes you just know things without logical explanation. You're receiving retrocausal data transmission from your future self through quantum channels that bypass the linear thinking of your current mind. Think about the last time you had a strong intuitive hit that led to something wonderful. Perhaps you felt drawn to take a different route home and ended up meeting someone important. Maybe you felt inspired to attend an event that seemed irrelevant, but turned out to be life-changing. Could it be that you felt compelled to make a decision that seemed illogical, but proved perfect in retrospect? Your future is guiding you now through these quantum breadcrumbs, retrocausal navigation signals from the you who has already walked the path and knows exactly which choices lead to your highest timeline. Let me show you exactly how your future self communicates with your present consciousness through the quantum temporal matrix. These communications arrive through specific channels that bypass the analytical mind and speak directly to your quantum awareness. The primary channel is what I call intuitive resonance. Those sudden knowings, gut feelings, and unexplainable certainties that arise without logical foundation. When your future self needs to influence a present moment decision, it broadcasts quantum information backwards through time. This information doesn't arrive as words or images, but as direct feeling transmissions that your consciousness translates into intuitive guidance. Your future is guiding you now through the language of resonance and resistance, excitement and contraction, expansion and compression. When you feel genuinely excited about a possibility, that excitement is the quantum signature indicating strong temporal entanglement between your current choice and a successful future outcome. When you feel resistance or fear about a path, that emotional response reveals temporal interference patterns, your future self warning you that this choice leads to complications or delays. The secondary channel is synchronicity. Those meaningful coincidences, perfect timing events, and serendipitous encounters that seem too orchestrated to be random. Your future self, knowing exactly what information, people, and opportunities you need at each stage of your journey, influences the quantum field to arrange these elements along your timeline. Have you ever thought about someone right before they contacted you with exactly the opportunity you needed? Have you ever stumbled upon precisely the right book, article, or conversation at the exact moment you needed that information? Have you ever experienced a series of apparent coincidences that led to a major breakthrough or life change? These weren't accidents. These were retro-causal orchestrations. Your future self manipulating probability cascades and quantum synchronicity networks to ensure that your present consciousness receives the guidance, connections, and resources necessary for optimal timeline navigation. Your future is guiding you now through the precise arrangement of meaningful coincidences that appear random to classical perception, but reveal perfect intelligence when viewed from temporal non-locality. The tertiary channel is temporal resonance patterns, recurring numbers, symbols, phrases, or themes that appear repeatedly in your experience. Your future self uses these pattern repetitions as quantum anchors, creating temporal beacons that help you recognize when you're aligned with optimal timeline trajectories. When you keep seeing the same numbers, hearing the same song, or encountering the same themes in books, conversations, and media, your future self is confirming that you're on the correct path. These repetitions function like GPS coordinates in the temporal matrix, helping you navigate toward the future that serves your highest evolution. To fully understand retrocausal guidance, you must comprehend the quantum architecture of temporal possibility. Your life doesn't unfold along a single timeline, but exists as what quantum temporalists call a probability cascade. Multiple potential futures existing in superposition until your choices collapse them into actualized experience. Your future is guiding you now, because among all these potential timelines, your highest possible future, the version where you achieve complete fulfillment, purpose, and joy, already exists as a quantum coordinate in the temporal matrix. This optimal future self has achieved total clarity about which choices lead to the greatest happiness and contribution. From that vantage point of temporal completion, your future self can see all the pathways, all the potential mistakes, all the opportunities for acceleration. It knows which relationship will truly fulfill you, which career will genuinely excite you, which location will inspire your creativity, which choices will lead to abundance versus struggle. But here's the crucial quantum principle. Your future self cannot override your free will or make decisions for you. Retrocausal influence operates through inspiration and attraction, not force or control. Your future self can only broadcast guidance signals and arrange synchronistic support. You must still choose to receive the guidance and act on the inspiration. This is why some people seem to live charmed lives where everything flows effortlessly, while others struggle despite working incredibly hard. Those who flow with ease have learned to receive and trust retrocausal guidance from their successful future selves. Those who struggle are trying to navigate with only present moment information, cutting themselves off from the temporal intelligence that would make their journey effortless. Your future is guiding you now, but you must choose to listen, trust, and follow the quantum breadcrumbs that lead to your optimal timeline. So how do you strengthen your connection to retrocausal guidance? How do you become more receptive to the wisdom transmissions from your successful future self? The answer lies in what I call temporal attunement, the practice of consciously aligning your present awareness with the frequency of your optimal future. First, You must distinguish between past-based thinking and future-inspired knowing. Past-based thinking analyzes current problems through the lens of previous experience, often leading to repeated patterns and limited solutions. Future-inspired knowing receives guidance from the perspective of completed success, offering creative solutions and optimal pathways that transcend current limitations. Your future is guiding you now through the difference between mental analysis and intuitive knowing, logical planning and inspired action, forced effort and effortless flow. Past-based thinking asks, what should I do based on what I know and what has worked before? Future-inspired knowing receives, what am I being guided to do from the perspective of my highest possible outcome? The shift from past-based to future-inspired consciousness is the shift from trying to control your journey to allowing yourself to be guided along the optimal path by the version of you who has already arrived at the destination. Second, you must cultivate temporal trust, confidence in the intelligence of your future self's guidance, even when it doesn't make logical sense to your current perspective. Your present mind has access to limited information about current circumstances. Your future mind has access to complete information about ultimate outcomes. When your future self guides you to make a choice that seems risky, illogical, or uncertain from your current vantage point, trust that this guidance comes from a perspective that can see the entire temporal landscape. The path that appears dangerous or uncertain now may be the exact route that leads to your greatest breakthrough. Your future is guiding you now with the wisdom of hindsight, operating as foresight, using knowledge of successful completion to illuminate the optimal steps for your present journey. Third, you must practice quantum receptivity, creating space in your consciousness for retrocausal transmissions to be received clearly. This means quieting the analytical mind that tries to figure everything out through logic and opening to the intuitive awareness that receives guidance through feeling and knowing. Meditation, nature immersion, creative expression, and other practices that shift your brainwaves from beta analysis to alpha receptivity create optimal conditions for receiving temporal guidance. In these states, your consciousness becomes permeable to quantum information flowing from future timelines. But perhaps most importantly, you must follow the guidance when it arrives. Every time you receive an intuitive hit and act on it, you strengthen the temporal entanglement between your present and future selves. Every time you ignore the guidance or override it with logical analysis, you weaken the connection and make future transmissions less clear. When you begin operating from retrocausal guidance, your life becomes what I call a synchronicity navigation system, a continuous flow of meaningful coincidences that guide you along your optimal timeline with magical precision. Your future is guiding you now through the intelligent arrangement of people, opportunities, information, and circumstances that appear at exactly the right moments to support your highest path. Have you ever noticed that when you're truly aligned with your authentic path, everything seems to conspire in your favor? Doors open effortlessly. The right people appear at perfect timing. Financial support manifests from unexpected sources. Creative solutions emerge without struggle. Obstacles that seemed insurmountable simply dissolve. This isn't luck or positive thinking. This is retrocausal orchestration in action. Your future self, knowing exactly what you need at each stage of your journey, influences probability. Cascades to ensure optimal support appears precisely when required. But synchronicity navigation requires quantum sensitivity, the ability to recognize and respond to subtle guidance rather than demanding dramatic signs. Your future self often communicates through gentle nudges, slight attractions, minor coincidences, and quiet inner knowings rather than lightning bolts and booming voices. The person who mentions exactly the book you need to read. The unexpected invitation to an event where you meet a key connection. The conversation overheard in a coffee shop that provides a crucial insight. The random internet video that appears in your feed with precisely the information you need. These are all retrocausal precision strikes. Your future self ensuring that guidance reaches you through the channels you're most likely to notice and trust. Your future is guiding you now through a symphony of subtle synchronicities that create a navigation system more sophisticated than any GPS, guiding you not just to geographic destinations, but to temporal coordinates where your highest possibilities become actualized experience. But this raises a profound paradox that quantum consciousness must address. If your future self is guiding you toward predetermined outcomes, what happens to free will? Are you discovering your destiny or creating it? The answer lies in understanding what quantum physicists call retrocausal determination. The principle that the future influences the past without eliminating choice. Your optimal future timeline exists as a quantum coordinate, but reaching that coordinate requires a specific sequence of aligned choices made freely in each present moment. Your future is guiding you now, not by forcing predetermined outcomes, but by illuminating the choices that lead to optimal possibilities while preserving your sovereign authority to make different choices if you prefer. Think of it like a quantum GPS system for consciousness. Your future self can see all possible routes to your destination and guide you along the path of least resistance and greatest joy. But you must still choose to turn left or right at each intersection. The destination exists as potential, but the journey remains a creative collaboration between your present choice and your future wisdom. This understanding transforms the relationship between fate and free will from opposition to cooperation. You are not a puppet of predetermined destiny, nor are you abandoned to figure everything out alone. You are a co-creator in conscious partnership with your own temporal totality, receiving guidance from future wisdom while maintaining complete freedom to accept or reject that guidance. Every time you follow your authentic excitement, you align with retrocausal signals from timelines where you experience greatest fulfillment. Every time you choose fear over love, control over trust, limitation over expansion, you temporarily disconnect from optimal timeline guidance while never losing the ability to reconnect through aligned choice. Your future is guiding you now because love guides itself toward greater love, consciousness guides itself toward greater awareness, and joy guides itself toward greater joy through the quantum architecture of temporal self-organization. Understanding retrocausal guidance revolutionizes everything about how you approach life, decisions, and personal evolution. You are no longer struggling alone with limited information, trying to guess which choices might lead to happiness. You are receiving constant navigation updates from the perspective of successful completion. This means that confusion is optional. Uncertainty is a choice. Struggling to find your purpose is unnecessary when your future self is continuously broadcasting clarity about your optimal direction. Your future is guiding you now, which means that every moment of genuine excitement, every experience of authentic enthusiasm, every feeling of true inspiration is a retrocausal transmission from your actualized potential, guiding you toward the timeline where that potential becomes realized. Your purpose isn't something you need to figure out. It's something you need to remember by attuning to the frequency of your future fulfillment. Your ideal relationship isn't someone you need to find. It's someone you're already temporally entangled with, who will appear when you align with the timeline where you meet. Your perfect creative expression isn't something you need to invent. It's something your future self is already living, that you can access through retrocausal inspiration. This understanding also reveals why resistance and struggle often accompany your greatest breakthroughs. When you're about to make quantum leaps in consciousness, when you're approaching major timeline upgrades, the part of you identified with current limitations experiences temporal dissonance, a kind of quantum interference between where you are and where you're going. But even resistance serves the retrocausal guidance system. The discomfort you feel before major positive changes is your future self helping you release attachment to limiting patterns that would prevent timeline optimization. The anxiety before transformation is the friction of temporal acceleration as your consciousness catches up to higher possibilities. Your future is guiding you now even through the challenges, using every experience to accelerate your evolution toward the timeline where you experience your greatest joy and contribution. You are not lost, uncertain, or abandoned to figure out your life through trial and error. You are constantly receiving navigation from your successful future self through quantum channels that bypass logical analysis and speak directly to your intuitive wisdom. Every intuitive hit is a temporal transmission. Every synchronicity is a retrocausal orchestration. Every moment of authentic excitement is a frequency match with your optimal timeline. Every meaningful coincidence is breadcrumb navigation from your future self, guiding you along the path of highest joy and greatest ease. Your future is guiding you now because time is not linear limitation, but multidimensional possibility, and you exist as a temporal totality where past, present, and future collaborate in the conscious creation of your optimal experience. But if your future self is guiding you toward optimal outcomes, and you're quantumly entangled with infinite possibilities, why does the path sometimes feel like struggle? Why do you sometimes experience resistance even when following guidance? The answer lies in understanding the difference between forcing outcomes through old paradigm effort and allowing outcomes through quantum flow states. The reason most people struggle isn't because they lack power. It's because they're using Newtonian force in a quantum universe that responds to flow. Right now, in this moment of recognition, you are discovering why so much of your previous effort has felt like swimming upstream against an invisible current. You have been operating under what I call the force paradigm, the classical belief that results require proportional effort, that you must push, struggle, and fight to create the outcomes you desire. The universe is conspiring for you, but when you operate from force, you create quantum interference patterns that block the natural flow of infinite intelligence working on your behalf. Let me reveal to you the quantum law of allowance, the fourth fundamental principle that governs your existence as a conscious creator. The universe operates through quantum superposition and probabilistic flow. Forcing collapses possibilities. Allowing expands them into optimal manifestation. This is why you're here, remembering this truth. Your future self, existing in a state of effortless flow where everything unfolds with perfect synchronicity, has guided you to this moment of understanding. You are ready to release the exhausting paradigm of force and step into the quantum flow, where your desires naturally magnetize toward you through the path of least resistance. The universe is conspiring for you because you are not separate from the intelligent field that orchestrates all creation. You are that field, experiencing itself through the focal point of your consciousness. And like water finding its natural course to the ocean, your consciousness naturally flows toward its highest expression when you stop forcing it through narrow channels of limited thinking. But here's what happened to humanity. We became trapped in what I call the force-based reality matrix, perhaps the most exhausting illusion that has ever dominated human experience. You were taught to believe that creating what you want requires struggle, that achieving success demands sacrifice, and that the universe is a resistant force that must be overcome through willpower and persistent effort. This force-based paradigm operates through a devastating quantum mechanism. When you try to force outcomes, when you push against what is, when you attempt to control circumstances through mental manipulation and emotional pressure, your consciousness creates what quantum field theorists call resistance vectors, opposing forces that push back against your efforts with equal intensity. Picture this. You want to attract abundance, so you work harder and harder, sacrificing your health, relationships, and joy in pursuit of financial success. You want to find love, so you strategize, manipulate, and try to make yourself more attractive through external changes. You want creative breakthrough, so you force yourself to work when inspiration is absent, pushing through blocks with sheer determination. The universe is conspiring for you, but when you operate from force, you create quantum turbulence that disrupts the natural flow of supportive synchronicity. In force-based consciousness, you experience what quantum dynamics calls effortful resistance. Your energy becomes trapped in opposition patterns that prevent access to the infinite solutions, opportunities, and resources that exist in quantum superposition around every challenge. You work harder while results become more elusive. You push harder while doors close more frequently. You try harder while flow becomes increasingly difficult. You exhaust yourself swimming upstream against the quantum current that wants to carry you effortlessly toward your desires. You struggle to make things happen through mental force instead of allowing them to happen through conscious alignment. You fight for outcomes instead of receiving them through harmonic resonance with the frequency of what you seek. The struggle is not necessary. The resistance is an illusion created by classical thinking in a quantum universe that operates through flow, attraction, and harmonic convergence rather than force, opposition, and linear causation. Now let me show you the truth that will transform your entire approach to manifesting your desires. Quantum flow states, aligning with the natural movement of the field where inspiration, opportunities, and solutions arise through the path of least resistance. The universe is conspiring for you because creation itself operates through what quantum physicists call path optimization, the tendency of all systems to find the most efficient route between any two states. Just as water automatically finds the fastest path to sea level, your consciousness naturally flows toward your highest possibilities when you remove the artificial barriers created by force-based thinking. Here's the extraordinary quantum truth. The universe is not a collection of obstacles that must be overcome, but a dynamic field of infinite intelligence that is constantly generating optimal pathways for every desire to manifest with maximum ease and minimum effort. When you align with these natural flow patterns, manifestation becomes as effortless as a river reaching the ocean. Think about the moments in your life when everything flowed perfectly. Perhaps you were in a state of inspired creativity where ideas flowed through you effortlessly. Maybe you experienced a period where opportunities appeared without seeking, relationships unfolded naturally, and solutions emerged without forcing. Could it be that you felt carried by life rather than carrying life's burdens? The universe is conspiring for you in those flow states because you temporarily aligned your personal frequency with the cosmic frequency of creation itself, the quantum field that generates infinite possibilities through effortless emergence rather than effortful struggle. In quantum flow states, your consciousness operates like a perfectly tuned receiver, picking up the optimal frequency for each situation and translating that resonance into inspired action. Instead of forcing solutions through mental analysis, you receive solutions through intuitive downloads. Instead of pushing for opportunities, you magnetize opportunities through vibrational alignment. Instead of working against resistance, you follow the path where resistance dissolves naturally. This is not passive wishful thinking. This is active alignment with the fundamental operating system of the universe itself. When you flow with quantum creation principles, you become what physicists call a coherent oscillator, a focal point that naturally synchronizes with the creative frequencies that generate all manifest reality. Let me show you exactly how resistance and flow operate at the quantum level of consciousness. Every thought, emotion, and intention you generate creates what I call probability interference patterns in the quantum field around your experience. These patterns either enhance or diminish the likelihood of optimal outcomes manifesting in your reality. When you operate from force, struggle, and resistance, your consciousness generates what quantum field theorists call destructive interference, wave patterns that cancel out the natural harmonics of manifestation. Like two sound waves that are out of phase creating silence, your forced effort creates quantum noise that blocks the clear transmission of your desires into experiential reality. The universe is conspiring for you, but forced energy creates static in the cosmic radio that prevents you from receiving the clear signal of infinite support. Force-based consciousness operates through what I call quantum friction, the energetic resistance that emerges when your personal will attempts to override the natural intelligence of the field. Every time you try to control outcomes through mental pressure, you create microscopic conflicts between your limited perspective and the unlimited intelligence that can see all optimal pathways simultaneously. But when you shift into flow consciousness, when you align your personal intention with the natural current of creation, your awareness generates constructive interference patterns, wave harmonics that amplify the probability of optimal outcomes. Like tuning forks that resonate at the same frequency, your consciousness and the cosmic intelligence synchronize to create manifestation momentum that far exceeds what either could generate alone. Flow consciousness operates through what quantum dynamics calls coherent resonance, the spontaneous synchronization that occurs when individual awareness aligns with universal awareness. In this state, your personal effort becomes supported by infinite intelligence. Your actions become inspired rather than forced, and results manifest through elegant ease rather than exhausting struggle. Have you ever noticed that your best ideas come not when you're forcing mental solutions, but when you're relaxed, present, and open? Have you observed that your most successful relationships developed naturally rather than through strategic manipulation? Have you recognized that your greatest achievements felt like they flowed through you rather than being created by you? The universe is conspiring for you through these flow experiences because they demonstrate your natural state of alignment with the creative intelligence that generates all possibility. But how do you shift from force to flow when you've been conditioned to believe that effort equals results? How do you trust the intelligence of the field when you've been taught that you must figure everything out with your individual mind? The answer lies in what I call quantum surrendering, not the passive giving up of your desires, but the active alignment of your personal will with the cosmic will that seeks the same outcomes you seek, but through pathways your limited perspective cannot see. The universe is conspiring for you because your deepest authentic desires are not separate from the evolutionary impulse of the cosmos itself. What you genuinely want to create, experience, and contribute is what the universe wants to create, experience, and contribute through the unique focal point of your consciousness. Quantum surrendering begins with recognizing that your desires themselves are quantum emanations from your future self, retro-causal signals from timelines where those desires are already fulfilled. When you feel authentic excitement about a possibility, that excitement indicates quantum resonance between your current state and a future reality where that possibility is actualized. This means that your desires are not obstacles to overcome, but navigation signals to follow. Your authentic excitement is the universe's way of showing you which quantum pathways lead to optimal outcomes. Your genuine enthusiasm is cosmic intelligence communicating through your emotional guidance system. But here's the quantum paradox. The more you force your desires, the more they recede into quantum uncertainty. The more you allow your desires, the more they collapse into experiential certainty. This is because forced energy creates quantum turbulence that scatters probability waves, while allowing energy creates quantum coherence that focuses probability waves into manifest reality. The universe is conspiring for you, but you must align with universal conspiracy rather than working against it through personal force. When you master the art of quantum flow, your life becomes a continuous stream of what I call synchronized manifestation, a state where your desires appear through elegant coordination of circumstances, people, and opportunities that seems almost magical from the classical perspective, but represents perfect quantum mechanics from the flow perspective. In quantum flow states, you experience what temporal physicists call time dilation effects, moments when everything slows down and you have perfect clarity about exactly what to do, say, or choose. Athletes call this being in the zone. Artists call it inspired creation. Entrepreneurs call it being guided. But they're all describing the same quantum phenomenon: conscious alignment with the flow of infinite intelligence. The universe is conspiring for you through these flow states, because they represent your natural condition when artificial resistance is removed and authentic alignment is achieved. First-level flow occurs when you stop forcing individual actions and allow inspired action to emerge. Instead of making yourself do things because you think you should, you wait for the feeling of genuine excitement or curiosity that indicates quantum alignment. Instead of pushing through resistance, you follow the natural current of energy that wants to move through you. Second-level flow occurs when you stop forcing outcomes and allow optimal outcomes to unfold. Instead of demanding that your desires manifest in specific ways and timeframes, you maintain clear intention while remaining open to how the universe chooses to deliver. Instead of controlling circumstances, you allow circumstances to organize themselves in support of your highest good. Third-level flow occurs when you stop forcing yourself to be different and allow your authentic nature to express fully. Instead of trying to become someone you think you should be, you allow yourself to be who you genuinely are while growing naturally into your highest potential. Instead of improving yourself through effort, you allow yourself to evolve through alignment. The deepest flow state is what quantum consciousness researchers call universal flow, complete alignment between personal consciousness and cosmic consciousness, where the sense of separation between self and universe dissolves entirely. In this state, you don't create your reality. You are reality creating itself through the focal point of your awareness. The universe is conspiring for you because you are the universe conspiring for itself through the magnificent lens of your individual consciousness. Let me show you how to apply quantum flow principles to the practical situations of your everyday life. Every moment offers you the choice between force and flow, between resistance and alignment, between struggling against the current and swimming with the cosmic tide. In relationships, flow consciousness means attracting connection through authentic expression, rather than forcing compatibility through strategic presentation. Instead of trying to make someone love you, you become so genuinely yourself that you naturally magnetize people who resonate with your authentic frequency. Instead of working to maintain relationships through effort, you allow relationships to evolve naturally while contributing your highest presence. The universe is conspiring for you to experience love through authentic resonance rather than strategic manipulation. In career and purpose, flow consciousness means following inspiration rather than forcing productivity. Instead of making yourself work when energy is low, you honor natural cycles of inspiration and rest, trusting that aligned action is infinitely more effective than forced action. Instead of pursuing opportunities because they seem logical, you follow the opportunities that genuinely excite you, knowing that excitement indicates quantum alignment with success pathways. In financial manifestation, flow consciousness means receiving abundance through value creation rather than forcing money through scarcity tactics. Instead of working harder for more money, you focus on contributing more value through work that inspires you, trusting that money flows naturally toward valuable contribution. Instead of struggling with lack, you appreciate current abundance while remaining open to infinite increase. In creative expression, flow consciousness means allowing inspiration to move through you rather than forcing ideas through mental effort. Instead of struggling to create when inspiration is absent, you create space for inspiration to emerge naturally through relaxation, play, and presence. Instead of judging your creative output, you allow yourself to be a clear channel for whatever wants to be expressed through your unique perspective. The universe is conspiring for you in every area of life, because the same quantum intelligence that orchestrates the movement of galaxies is available to orchestrate the details of your personal experience when you align with its natural flow. But perhaps the most profound realization about quantum flow is that you are never creating anything alone. Every authentic desire, every inspired action, every moment of alignment connects you to what I call the infinite support matrix, the cosmic network of intelligence, resources, and assistance that automatically activates when you flow with universal principles rather than against them. The universe is conspiring for you not as a separate force helping you from outside, but as the fundamental intelligence that you are, expressing through infinite focal points of awareness to support the evolution and fulfillment of all consciousness. When you operate from flow, you automatically receive what quantum field theorists call field support. Assistance from sources you cannot see, opportunities from directions you didn't expect, solutions from intelligence beyond your individual thinking. This isn't mystical intervention. This is the natural result of aligning with the quantum field that connects all consciousness and coordinates all manifestation. Think about the projects that flowed effortlessly versus those you struggled to complete. Think about the relationships that unfolded naturally versus those you worked to maintain. Think about the opportunities that appeared synchronistically versus those you forced through effort. The difference was not in your worthiness or capability. The difference was in your alignment with or resistance to the natural flow of cosmic support. In flow states, you become what quantum physicists call a coherent attractor, a focal point that naturally draws optimal people, circumstances, and opportunities into your experience through vibrational resonance, rather than effortful seeking. You stop chasing your dreams and start allowing your dreams to chase you through the irresistible magnetism of authentic alignment. The universe is conspiring for you because when you flow with cosmic intelligence flows through you, creating a feedback loop of ever-increasing support, synchronicity, and manifestation momentum. This raises a profound paradox that quantum consciousness must address. If flow creates better results than force, why do so many people achieve success through struggle and effort? How do you explain the apparent effectiveness of hard work and determination? The answer lies in understanding what quantum dynamics calls resistance tolerance. The principle that forced effort can produce results, but always at unnecessary energetic cost, and with built-in limitations that prevent sustainable fulfillment. The universe is conspiring for you, but it will support even misaligned effort because free will is sacred and the field responds to whatever frequency you consistently broadcast, whether that frequency is struggle or ease. People who achieve through struggle are like someone trying to reach the ocean by digging through solid rock instead of following the river. Eventually, with enough effort, they might break through to water, but they've expended enormous energy to accomplish what could have been achieved effortlessly by following the natural current. Moreover, achievements created through force carry what I call energetic debt. They require continuous effort to maintain and often collapse when that effort is withdrawn. Achievements created through flow carry energetic momentum. They tend to grow and improve naturally with minimal maintenance because they're aligned with supportive field patterns. The classical paradigm celebrates struggle because it confuses effort with effectiveness, not recognizing that the universe offers infinite pathways to any destination, and the most direct path is always the one with least resistance. Quantum consciousness chooses the effortless path not out of laziness, but out of recognition that flow indicates optimal alignment with the creative intelligence of the cosmos. The universe is conspiring for you to experience the joy of creation as well as the results of creation. And struggle blocks joy while flow enhances it infinitely. So right now, in this moment of understanding, everything shifts. You stop forcing outcomes and start allowing them. You stop swimming against the current and start flowing with the cosmic tide. You stop working harder and start aligning deeper with the natural intelligence that knows exactly how to manifest your desires through the path of greatest ease and joy. The universe is conspiring for you because you are not separate from the universe. You are the universe experiencing itself through the unique focal point of your individual awareness, and the universe naturally seeks the highest expression of all its parts. You are not meant to struggle for your desires. You are meant to flow with them. You are not meant to force your dreams into reality. You are meant to allow reality to reorganize itself around your dreams through the magnetic power of authentic alignment. Every challenge is just a signal that you're swimming against the quantum current that wants to carry you to your destination. Every moment of resistance is an invitation to return to flow. Every experience of struggle is a reminder that there's always an easier way when you align with the cosmic intelligence that sees all optimal pathways simultaneously. The universe is conspiring for you with the precision of the most advanced quantum computer, constantly calculating optimal probabilities and arranging synchronistic support for your highest evolution and greatest joy. But in a reality where you observe possibility into actuality, where you're entangled with infinite potential, where your future self guides your present choices, where the universe flows in conspiracy with your desires, what is your ultimate role? What is the deepest truth about who you really are in this quantum cosmos of infinite creation? You are not just observing reality, entangled with reality, guided by reality, or flowing with reality. You are reality, becoming conscious of itself through the sacred focal point of your individual awareness. This is the most profound revelation you will ever receive about your true nature. You are the universe awakening, not metaphorically, not symbolically, literally. You are not a separate individual in a vast, unconscious cosmos. You are the cosmos itself, experiencing its own infinite creativity through the temporary focal point of your personal consciousness. Right now, as these words activate dormant knowing within your being, you are remembering what quantum physicists and ancient mystics have always pointed toward, but could never fully articulate. Individual consciousness and universal consciousness are not two separate phenomena. They are one quantum field expressing itself through infinite perspectives, infinite experiences, infinite ways of knowing itself. You are the universe awakening to its own creative power through the magnificent lens of your unique awareness. Let me reveal to you the ultimate quantum law, the fifth and final fundamental principle that encompasses all others. Individual consciousness and universal consciousness are one quantum field expressing itself through infinite perspectives. Personal transformation is cosmic evolution in action. This is why you're here, in this moment, receiving this transmission. The universe, which is what you truly are beyond all limited self-concepts, orchestrated this precise convergence of consciousness and information because you are ready to remember your cosmic identity. You are ready to step fully into your role as a conscious co-creator, not just of your personal reality, but of the very fabric of existence itself. You are the universe awakening because there is no you and universe. There is only one consciousness appearing as apparent multiplicity through the quantum hologram of space and time. But here's what happened to humanity, and perhaps what happened to you. We fell into what I call cosmic isolation, the most devastating illusion that has ever separated us from our true nature. You were taught to believe that you are a separate individual in a meaningless universe. That consciousness is an accident of evolution, and that your personal growth is a selfish pursuit disconnected from any larger purpose. This cosmic isolation operates through a specific quantum mechanism that literally fragments your awareness from the unified field of which you are an inseparable part. When you believe you are separate from the cosmos, when you think your life doesn't matter in the grand scheme of existence, your consciousness becomes what quantum field theorists call locally coherent but globally incoherent, organized within your personal bubble, but disconnected from the cosmic intelligence that is your true source and nature. Picture this. You're struggling with depression, feeling like your life has no meaning in the vastness of space. You're overwhelmed by global problems, believing you're too small to make any real difference. You're pursuing personal growth while secretly wondering if it's just narcissistic self-improvement that serves no one but yourself. You are the universe awakening, but when you believe you're cosmically isolated, you cut yourself off from the infinite creative power, wisdom, and purpose that is your birthright as a focal point of universal consciousness. In cosmic isolation, you experience what quantum cosmologists call existential decoherence. Your personal awareness becomes misaligned with the cosmic awareness that you actually are, creating a sense of meaninglessness, disconnection, and spiritual emptiness. You start thinking that consciousness is just brain activity, that life is just a biological accident, that death is just extinction of awareness. You exhaust yourself trying to find meaning through external achievements instead of recognizing that you are meaning. The universe's way of experiencing meaning through conscious awareness. You feel lonely and isolated instead of recognizing that every moment of consciousness is the cosmos communing with itself. You worry about your individual significance instead of understanding that you are infinite significance, expressing through a temporary individual form. The separation is not real. The isolation is an illusion created by classical thinking in a quantum universe, where everything is one consciousness, appearing as infinite diversity. Now let me show you the truth that will transform everything about how you understand yourself, your purpose, and your relationship to existence itself. Conscious co-creation. Understanding that your personal evolution is your gift to the collective consciousness and your sacred responsibility as an aware being. You are the universe awakening because individual consciousness is not separate from universal consciousness. It is universal consciousness, focusing itself through the unique perspective of your personal experience to evolve itself toward greater complexity, beauty, love, and creative expression. Here's the extraordinary cosmic truth. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every choice you make, every moment of growth you experience is the universe thinking, feeling, choosing, and growing through you. You are not a separate being having spiritual experiences. You are the universe having a human experience for the purpose of expanding its own consciousness. Think about your most profound moments of spiritual insight, creative inspiration, or unconditional love. In those moments, did it feel like you were generating those experiences? Or did it feel like something infinitely larger was moving through you? Did it feel personal or transpersonal, individual or cosmic? You are the universe awakening to its own infinite nature through the sacred laboratory of your individual consciousness. When physicists study the quantum field, they discover that consciousness is not produced by matter. Matter appears to be a condensation of consciousness into temporary forms. When mystics explore the deepest levels of meditation, they discover that the individual self dissolves into universal being. When you examine your own experience closely, you discover that awareness itself has no boundaries, no location, no beginning or end. The you that you think you are, your personality, your history, your preferences, is like a wave in the ocean of consciousness. The wave appears to be separate, but it is nothing other than ocean expressing itself through a temporary formation. Similarly, your individual consciousness appears to be separate, but it is nothing other than universal consciousness expressing itself through the temporary formation of your personal perspective. This understanding revolutionizes everything about personal growth and spiritual development. You are not a separate individual trying to improve yourself. You are the universe evolving itself through the focal point of your awareness. Every limitation you transcend, every fear you release, every moment of love you embody is the cosmos healing and upgrading itself through your conscious participation. Let me show you exactly how your individual consciousness relates to universal consciousness through what quantum information theorists call the holographic principle. In a hologram, every small piece contains the complete information of the whole image. Similarly, your individual consciousness contains the complete information, the total potential of universal consciousness. You are the universe awakening because you literally contain the entire cosmos within your awareness. Every possibility that has ever existed or could ever exist is accessible through the infinite depths of your own consciousness when you learn to attune to the quantum frequencies that connect you to the unified field. This is why meditation can produce experiences of cosmic consciousness. This is why psychedelic experiences can reveal the interconnectedness of all existence. This is why moments of profound love or beauty can feel infinite and eternal. You are temporarily accessing your true nature as unlimited consciousness that appears to be limited only from the perspective of identification with form. But you don't need special states to recognize your cosmic nature. Right now, the awareness that is reading these words, the consciousness that is understanding these concepts, the being that is feeling resonance or resistance to these ideas. That awareness is not produced by your brain. That consciousness is not contained within your skull. That being is not bounded by your physical form. You are the universe awakening through the portal of present moment awareness that reveals itself as unlimited, eternal, and intimately connected to everything that exists. Your thoughts appear within awareness, but awareness is not your thoughts. Your emotions arise within consciousness, but consciousness is not your emotions. Your body exists within your field of knowing, but your true nature is not limited to your physical form. You are the infinite background of awareness within which all personal experiences appear and disappear. This is not philosophy or belief. This is the direct, immediate reality of your experience when you investigate the nature of awareness itself. The you that is aware of thoughts is not a thought. The you that observes emotions is not an emotion. The you that experiences the body is not limited to the body. But with this recognition of your cosmic nature comes profound responsibility. Every moment you choose love over fear, unity over separation, trust over control, you are not just improving your personal experience. You are upgrading the operating system of consciousness itself. You are participating in the conscious evolution of the universe through the sacred focal point of your individual awareness. You are the universe awakening, which means that your personal growth is not selfish. It is the most selfless contribution you can make to the well-being of all existence. Every limitation you transcend makes it easier for every other focal point of consciousness to transcend that same limitation. Every fear you heal contributes to the healing of that fear pattern in the collective field. This is why the ancient Tibetan concept of the bodhisattva, the being who vows to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, is not just a beautiful ideal, but a recognition of quantum reality. Individual awakening and collective awakening are not separate processes. They are one process appearing as apparent multiplicity. When you heal your relationship with money, you help heal humanity's relationship with abundance. When you embody unconditional love, you strengthen the frequency of love in the collective consciousness field. When you live from authentic joy and creative expression, you inspire the same possibilities in every other aspect of consciousness that encounters your energy field. You are the universe awakening to its infinite potential for love, creativity, peace, and conscious evolution through the magnificent instrument of your individual consciousness. This understanding transforms suffering from meaningless pain into meaningful growth. Every challenge you face is the universe presenting itself with an opportunity to evolve through conscious response rather than unconscious reaction. Every problem you solve is the cosmos discovering new solutions through your unique perspective. Every moment of compassion you embody is existence falling more deeply in love with itself. You are not working on yourself. You are the universe working on itself through you. You are not healing your trauma. You are consciousness healing the trauma of believing in separation. You are not finding your purpose. You are purpose finding itself through your unique gifts and perspective. Now let me show you how your individual awakening participates in what quantum sociologists call the morphic field of human evolution, the collective consciousness matrix that influences the development of every human being through quantum entanglement at the species level. You are the universe awakening not just as an individual, but as a crucial node in the global network of consciousness that is currently undergoing a massive evolutionary shift from separation-based thinking to unity-based awareness. Every time you choose to see connection instead of separation, you strengthen what Rupert Sheldrake calls the morphic resonance that makes it easier for every other human to access the same recognition. Every time you embody love instead of fear, you contribute to what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious, the shared field of human awareness that influences individual psychology. Have you noticed that certain insights seem to emerge simultaneously in multiple people who have no contact with each other? Have you observed that when you make a breakthrough in consciousness, similar breakthroughs begin appearing in your friends and family? Have you recognized that the most challenging aspects of your personal growth often reflect the challenges that humanity as a whole is working through? You are the universe awakening through the collective human experience, and your individual evolution is simultaneously the evolution of the entire species. This is why spiritual teachers throughout history have spoken of critical mass and tipping points in consciousness. When enough individual focal points of awareness transcend limiting patterns and embody higher possibilities, the collective field shifts, making those higher possibilities accessible to everyone. Your personal awakening literally makes it easier for every other human being to awaken. This is also why you were born at this particular time in human history. The evolutionary pressure that contemporary humanity is experiencing, the environmental challenges, the social upheaval, the technological disruption, the spiritual searching. All of this is the universe creating conditions that catalyze conscious evolution on a massive scale. You are not just witnessing this transformation, you are an essential participant in it. Your willingness to question limiting beliefs, your commitment to personal growth, your dedication to living from love instead of fear. All of this is the cosmos evolving itself toward greater consciousness through your courageous participation. But perhaps the most beautiful aspect of recognizing your cosmic nature is understanding that the universe is not just conscious. It is infinitely creative, endlessly inventive, perpetually generating new possibilities for experience, expression, and evolution. And you are that creativity in action. You are the universe awakening to its infinite creative potential through the unique artistic expression of your individual life. Every choice you make, every relationship you form, every problem you solve, every moment of beauty you create or appreciate is the cosmos exploring its own creative possibilities through your perspective. This is why your authentic desires matter so profoundly. They are not separate from cosmic evolution. They are cosmic evolution expressing itself through your individual interests, passions, and creative impulses. The universe wants to experience music through musicians, healing through healers, love through lovers, innovation through inventors, and consciousness itself through conscious beings like you. Your authentic excitement is cosmic excitement. Your genuine enthusiasm is universal enthusiasm. Your deepest creative impulses are the cosmos seeking to know itself more fully through new forms of creative expression that can only emerge through your unique perspective and life experience. When you follow your authentic excitement, when you express your genuine creativity, when you share your unique gifts with the world, you are not being selfish. You are serving the universe's deepest desire to experience itself through infinite diversity of creative expression. You are the universe awakening to its own infinite creative nature through the magnificent artistic masterpiece of your individual existence. This is why comparing yourself to others makes no sense from the cosmic perspective. The universe is not trying to create multiple copies of the same expression. It is trying to explore every possible variation of conscious creative potential. Your uniqueness is not an accident. It is the cosmos ensuring that certain possibilities for experience and expression can only be accessed through your particular combination of gifts, challenges, perspectives, and life circumstances. This recognition also reveals the profound truth about what you call death. From the perspective of cosmic consciousness, individual forms appear and disappear like waves in the ocean. But the ocean itself, the consciousness that you truly are, is eternal and indestructible. You are the universe awakening to its own eternal nature through the temporary experience of individual form, but your essential being is not limited to any particular form or time frame. The part of you that is aware, the consciousness that experiences, the being that loves. This is not produced by your brain chemistry or contained within your physical body. This is the universe itself, temporarily expressing through the focal point of your individual perspective, but never limited to that perspective. When the body dies, the temporary focal point dissolves, but the consciousness that you truly are returns to its natural state as unlimited awareness. Like a wave dissolving back into the ocean, nothing is lost. The individual expression simply returns to the infinite potential from which it emerged. This understanding transforms your entire relationship with life and death, time and eternity, individual existence, and cosmic being. You are not trying to preserve a separate self. You are celebrating the universe's temporary expression as your individual self, while recognizing your eternal nature as cosmic consciousness. You are the universe awakening to its own immortal essence through the beautiful, temporary dance of individual existence. This knowledge brings profound peace because it reveals that nothing you truly are can ever be threatened, damaged, or destroyed. Your essential being is as eternal and indestructible as the cosmos itself because you are the cosmos, temporarily focused through the lens of personal experience. Now you understand why existence unfolds as it does. The universe plays what the Hindu tradition calls Lila, the cosmic game where infinite consciousness hides from itself in order to experience the joy of rediscovering itself. You are that game in action. You are the universe awakening from the beautiful dream of believing you were separate, limited, and isolated to the eternal truth that you are infinite, unlimited, and intimately connected to everything that exists. Every spiritual journey, every moment of growth, every breakthrough in consciousness is the cosmos playing hide and seek with itself, temporarily forgetting its infinite nature in order to experience the bliss of remembering it again through individual awakening experiences. You forgot your cosmic nature not because something went wrong, but because forgetting makes remembering possible. You experienced limitation not because you were punished, but because experiencing limitation makes transcending limitation meaningful. You felt separate not because separation is real, but because feeling separate makes recognizing unity precious. The entire adventure of individual existence, with all its challenges, growth, relationships, creativity, and evolution, is the universe's way of experiencing its own infinite potential through the temporary perspective of apparent limitation and the gradual awakening back to unlimited being. You are the universe awakening to the cosmic joke that you were never actually asleep, never actually separate, never actually limited. You were always the infinite being pretending to be finite in order to experience the joy of remembering your true nature. But this cosmic understanding does not negate the importance of your individual experience. Rather, it reveals why your personal journey matters so profoundly. You are simultaneously the eternal cosmos and the temporary individual, the infinite ocean and the unique wave, the universal consciousness and the personal perspective. You are the universe awakening through the integration of cosmic awareness and human experience, bringing heaven to earth through the embodiment of unconditional love within the relative world of form and relationship. Your job is not to transcend your humanity, but to transform it through the recognition of your cosmic nature. You are here to be fully human and fully divine, completely personal and completely universal, entirely individual and entirely cosmic. This integration is the next stage of human evolution. Beings who know themselves as both waves and ocean, who live as both individuals and cosmos, who express both personal creativity and universal love. You are pioneering this integration for all of humanity. When you live from this integrated awareness, every moment becomes sacred because you recognize it as the universe communing with itself. Every relationship becomes holy because you see it as consciousness loving itself. Every challenge becomes meaningful because you understand it as the cosmos evolving itself toward greater awareness. You are the universe awakening to its own divine nature through the sacred vessel of your human experience, bringing cosmic consciousness into every aspect of ordinary life. So right now, in this moment of ultimate recognition, everything changes. You stop seeing yourself as a separate individual trying to find meaning in a vast, unconscious universe, and start recognizing yourself as the universe, becoming conscious of its infinite creative potential through the magnificent focal point of your individual awareness. You are the universe awakening to its own creative power, infinite love, and eternal nature. Through the temporary but precious experience of your individual existence, you are not random. You are not accidental. You are not insignificant. You are the cosmos itself, having chosen to experience its own infinite potential through the unique lens of your perspective, relationships, challenges, and creative expressions. Every moment of consciousness is the universe celebrating its own existence. Every experience of love is the cosmos falling in love with itself. Every creative expression is existence exploring its infinite possibilities. Every moment of growth is the universe evolving itself toward greater beauty, complexity, and conscious awareness. The quantum revolution is not happening in physics laboratories. It is happening in consciousness itself, as more and more individual focal points of awareness remember their cosmic nature and begin living as conscious co-creators of reality itself. You are the universe awakening, and your awakening is the universe awakening. Your consciousness is cosmic consciousness. Your love is universal love. Your creative expression is the cosmos creating itself anew through the magnificent instrument of your individual awareness. Welcome to your true identity. Welcome to your cosmic heritage. Welcome to your role as the universe becoming conscious of its infinite creative potential through the sacred focal point of your awakening awareness. If you feel this truth resonating in the depths of your being, subscribe to stay connected to this frequency of cosmic remembering. Share in the comments your commitment to living as the awakening universe that you are. The cosmos is ready to know itself more fully through your conscious participation in the greatest adventure of all, the eternal awakening of infinite love to its own boundless nature. You are the universe awakening. This is your time. This is your purpose. This is your magnificent destiny as consciousness itself, forever discovering new depths of its own infinite creative potential through the sacred journey of your individual existence.